What it do, what it do, what it do. Greetings, 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 Grand Rising. This is your brother Chief Kalanago. Let me just make sure I'm good on Facebook here. Give me 1 second. Want to make sure audio is good. I'm not going to be on here too long. I know I haven't done a video in a while. It's early. This is your brother Chief. All right, so here we go. All right. So audio is good. Audio is good. Make sure I'm good on Facebook here. All right. Give me 1 second. All right, audio is good. Audio is good. Audio is good. Audio is good. All right, so check this out, right? I'm just gonna give y'all my 2 cents on this Roe versus Wade situation, right? And that's just again my opinion based on my knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, I know it's been a minute since I've done a video. I've been busy, working on things. I mean, sometimes silence is golden. You got to fall back sometimes to move forward. And that's why life is so beautiful, because it gives you an opportunity to step back. You know what I'm saying? To put things in perspective. And that's what life is all about, getting your life in order. It doesn't matter where you at, where you've been. The truth of the matter is it's where you are at and what you're willing to do moving forward without hurting anybody. You see what I'm saying? So everything that you do, you should definitely do it with integrity. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's get to this Roe versus Wade. I'm always going to remind folks this, okay? I'm by no means I'm here to tell anybody what to do with their life. This is your body. When I say your body, meaning that it's your temple, it's your host. You do what you feel you need to do. Now, does it make it moral? Does it make it immoral? That's not for me to judge. You see what I'm saying? What people fail to realize is that whether you believe it or not, it's not a matter of belief. I tell people I don't do belief systems. I deal with facts, and I deal with logic. I deal with intelligence. You see what I'm saying? Most intellectual beings, they are not intelligent. They have no wisdom. And that's the problem with society. Okay, a bunch of intellectuals with no wisdom, no type of logical sense in when it comes to thinking or being able to how would I put it, comprehend certain information. They just pretty much deal strictly on an emotional perspective. And it doesn't matter how you feel. Sometimes your emotions don't count. Most times it don't count, especially in the United States. And that's what people fail to realize. The United States is a corporation. And one, let me reiterate to you guys, right? Well, I'm not going to say you guys, I'm going to say lineage, right? Let me reiterate to you, lineage, is this. The United States is not America. Why do people keep calling the United States America? United States is not America. America is a continent. It's like saying Ghana is all of Africa. I mean, it's just so, to me, it's just stupidity. You know what I'm saying? And people do it subconsciously because that's what's being pushed and programmed so that foreigners and real immigrants could state a claim to what, or they define who an American is. Okay, but we're not going to get into all this. I'm just stating the claim, which is a factual claim, that the United States is a corporation. If you don't believe me, like I said, I don't do belief system. Do your research yourself. Go look at Title 28. Title 28, Section 3002, subsection 15A. The United States is a federal corporation. Now, with that being stated, or that facts being stated, you have to realize that everything that's done in the United States, whether it may be from a government perspective, whether it may be from, well, let's just say the government, because the government controls everything, right? So from a governmental perspective, everything deals with business. And what you have to realize about these people with their structure is this. They will do anything. They will do anything, and I do mean anything, where the end will justify the means. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what the casualty is. It doesn't matter what the price is. As long as it justifies the means. In other words, the means will justify the end, or the end justify the means. Whichever way you look at it, they're going to flip it around so that it will be to their benefit. So with that being said, how do you think Roe versus Wade, from the very inception, it's all about the control of the so-called black people. People don't get this. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying so-called because none of y'all black. I don't know why grown ass people walking around calling themselves black. But anyway, that's another story. But the point is this, okay? This all has to do with the carbon-based woman, okay? The carbon-based woman. I'm not gonna say melanin because everybody got melanin. That's another form of, again, intellectual people who think melanin is so special, okay? Melanin is nothing but watered down carbon, all right? So let's just put that in perspective. But it's all about the original woman, okay? And everything that this corporation does, okay, it goes against the best interest of the original people of the land. And people don't realize that. Just like, for instance, the civil rights. The civil rights didn't start with us. No, it didn't. But we made it about us and we took it to a whole nother level. Okay, because we were not civilians and we are not civilians in our land. This is our motherland. This is our home. So how can you be a civilian in your home? You can't be that. But of course, we took it upon ourselves because we wanted to be part of the United States, which, by the way, is an option. But our people are so divided. Okay, we just can't seem to come together because we were taught not to trust each other. Well, Chief, what does that have to do with Roe versus Wade? Okay, it all ties into everything. And what I mean by that is, okay, they would tell you, okay, you know what, you could have abortions, but then they were pushing all these abortions in low income family areas, okay, in the ghetto, in the hood, so to speak. In other words, have all these babies, have all this unprotected sex, have these babies and abort these babies, and we will take the fetus and we will take what we need to do stem cell research. Brothers and sisters, it's a business, okay, it's a business. But now, check this out. But now that the pale woman, okay, they have a high infant immortality rate. In other words, they can't have a lot of babies. So now they're making it illegal for you to abort babies. You see, this has nothing to do with the so-called black woman. But our people, especially a lot of our so-called black women, they're so tied up into the ideologies of these foreigners. You see what I'm saying? You think these people care about you? You think they care about whether you have babies or not? They about rights? You ain't got no rights. You got privileges. You see what I'm saying? You got privileges. Black and white are statuses, okay? And black people have no lawful status. They only have a legal status that could be taken away. And as you could see, enough said, right? But with that being said, okay, it's all about business. It's all about business. It's all tied in. Another reason, I'm not saying that's the only reason. Why do you think Ukraine could have a war and then all of a sudden Joe Biden, okay, got over 100,000 Ukrainians coming into the United States and getting status automatically? Why is that? Because their population is diminishing. Their population is diminishing in the United States. You feel what I'm saying? Because it is a statistic that was done. And by 2030, between 2030 and 2050, the majority of the people in the United States will be brown races, meaning that people that are mixed with so-called black people. And as you could see, they're pushing all these interracial relationships. Why? Do you think because they care about you? Do you think because, oh, well, all of a sudden we are not racist? No, it is because their genes are dying. Okay, they have the recessive genes, and this is not hate. I'm just giving you scientific fact. Okay, their childbirth rate is very, very low, and they cannot procreate. They cannot reproduce. They cannot be fruitful and multiply. Okay, they cannot do that, which is actually a sin. That is the covenant with the what you call your God. Okay, to be fruitful and multiply and have dominion. Now, if you cannot be fruitful and multiply, that means you cannot have dominion because you don't have the authority to do that. You see what I'm saying? So they have to put things in place. And I promise you, throughout all the states, they're going to make it illegal to have abortions. Not because they care about you. No, it is a political and a business move because they have to keep you thinking that they are the majority. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, you will see a whole lot more, interracial relationships. Why? Because they have to keep that so-called white status alive. You see what I'm saying? Now that may go over some people's heads, and it's okay. But I just want you to know that Roe versus Wade ain't got nothing to do with your rights to do what you want or what you cannot do. It is all about the means have to justify the end. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's about them. It's always about them. It has nothing to do with so-called black people. So I don't know why you guys up in an uproar, getting mad, thinking about they taking away your rights or they giving you rights. No, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Nothing whatsoever. It don't. So get your emotions out of this political arena, okay? And leave these people alone. Leave these people alone. It ain't got nothing to do with us. And that's what we don't realize. We don't know how to mind our own business. We just don't know that. We got to get involved. And if they don't get you involved, then you think it's discrimination. You think it's racist. No, it's not. It's actually for your benefit, but you just don't get it. You just don't get it. And sometimes when you tell people the truth, they make you the enemy. Well, my brother, my sister, you know you're not black, right? Black is not a nationality. They want to get mad at you. They want to, oh well, black is not necessarily a color, but we're talking about the essence and all this and blah blah blah. Listen, man, it doesn't matter how far back you go into time immemorial or whether you go into the ethereal realm. Black doesn't exist. You have dark and you have light. Don't confuse darkness with being black. All darkness means is lack of light. You feel what I'm saying? But black absorbs light. Black is not absolute, but darkness is absolute. You see what I'm saying? So no matter how you look at it, whether you want to look at it from an ethereal perspective or you want to look at it from a scientific perspective, no matter how you look at it, I could prove to you that you're not black. Whether you want to look at it from a national perspective, I could prove to you that you're not black. So the point I'm making is this. Okay, when those things are being done, these laws and this court cases, people are fighting so hard. You know what I'm saying? Protesting and doing all that. It ain't got nothing to do with us. And I'm gonna go back to the civil rights again. The civil rights had nothing to do with us. Why? Because we were not civilians. Okay, we did not come here on no ships from Africa. That's what people, and that's what they keep pushing in your head, and they got y'all jacked up and messed up. You see what I'm saying? Well, Chief, how can you prove that? Well, it's very, very, very simple. Let me ask you a question, right? If we had actually came here on slave ships from Africa, don't you think from inception they would have called us Africans? Why it started off with Indian, then it went to Negro, colored, Afro-American. Why did it go to all these different changes to finally bring us back to African when they could have just kept you as African? You see what I'm saying? But people don't use, again, they don't use spiritual discernment. They don't use wisdom. Okay, they're just purely intellectual beings. And once they get into your emotions, it's a wrap. You see, because you wear daishiki, it doesn't mean that you're African. You see what I'm saying? Because you beat the drums doesn't mean you're African. Because guess what? The drum is universal. Because we, the original indigenous people of the earth, we were actually on all the continents, okay? We are indigenous to this entire planet. You feel me? But again, that's another story. You feel me? That's another story. And yes, Mexicans are considered white. And guess what? Even the Africans, the real Africans who come from Africa, okay, where you could literally say, oh, nah, you're black, son. But they're not black. They're just dark, dark brown. The point is, they are considered white. Why is that? Okay? But my people here in the Americas, they suffer for the lack of knowledge. And like I always tell you, every other immigrant coming to our land, and they get to live the American dream, while the original Americans, we keep living a nightmare. You see what I'm saying? If you think you're African, how is that real Africans could come here, get credit, have businesses, but yet still, we, the so-called African Americans, we don't have the same opportunities as the real Africans. Isn't that telling y'all something? An African could come from a whole nother continent, okay, and come into our continent, okay, into our motherland, and have more rights and benefits than us, but yet still y'all think you're African. Let me ask you a question. How many real Africans do you see fighting for the rights of African Americans? How many of them you see in marches? And no disrespect. I'm not here to disrespect our African brothers and sisters. No, that's not what it means. I'm just giving you facts. Okay? They care about their own issues because they know they are a different people. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just facts. So, once again, just to reiterate, the civil rights didn't have anything to do with us. We had our own governments, we had our own structures. And as a matter of fact, it's by law we have a right to create our own government, but we are so divided. Everybody want to be a chief. Nobody want to be an Indian. You see what I'm saying? Because of all these egos. And that's why I have to fall back and leave all these things alone, because people just don't know how to say, okay, you know what? You have this expertise. All right. You could deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Why we got to compete against each other all the time? You see what I'm saying? We are our biggest competitors amongst ourselves. And yet still we have to compete against people who are doing a whole lot better than us financially. You see what I'm saying? Because they know how to come together. Okay. They have studied the principles of the ant, right? If you see how ants move, I'm not saying all ants get along. I've seen ants fight. But when it's time to carry that big load, they come together. And that's one thing we don't know how to do. We don't practice it. You see what I'm saying? We get in these emotions, this animosity, this jealousy. We think we can trust each other. All that stuff is mental. You see what I'm saying? So when you keep forgetting that the United States is a business, that's where you're going to get lost in the system. It is a business. Okay. And the entity that they created, it's not you. I keep telling y'all that. They created a whole new person from your birth certificate. It's not you. The all capital letters is somebody else. It's not you. It's not the living flesh being. And you think it's you. So that's how you get jacked up. That's how you get jacked up. So going back to the title of the video, that whole thing about abortion, this ain't got nothing to do with us, man. First of all, abortions is not part of our culture, because we knew that the covenant, okay, with what you call the Great Spirit or whatever you want to call it, it was to be fruitful and multiply and to have dominion. That's it. You see what I'm saying? That's it. So abortions wasn't part of our culture, but they had to start pushing that. Okay. They had to start pushing that because why? It was about population control. We came into this America. There were millions and millions and millions and millions of people that they call so-called black. They were already there. So now when we come in as the settlers or the colonizers or the pilgrims, we have to find a way to outnumber them. So they started pushing abortions. Okay? Make you poor. You can't afford it. Let's kill the baby. You see what I'm saying? While they themselves, they were multiplying. If you look at the Jews, in one family, they got like 7 children. You see, so that was the plan. That was the goal. Let us outnumber them by having children so we could push these abortions in the low urban hood ghetto areas. You see what I'm saying? But they don't realize anything that affect the original people will affect mankind. You see, they're not telling you that. Anything that affect man will affect mankind. Anything that affect man will affect the humans. So the humans will not tell you that. So now that abortions are affecting mankind, now they want to say, okay, you know what? It's illegal to have abortions. When they push crack cocaine into our neighborhoods, okay, to affect the original people, to affect man and woman, it was all good when it was us. When it was happening to mankind, then it became a problem. Opium, everything, family. Just look at the track history of these colonizers. You see what I'm saying? Look at it. So they wasn't just pushing abortions to control our population. They were using the fetus to do stem cell research so that they could prolong their lives or to help them with different forms of medical research. In other words, they were using our dead fetus, the dead fetus of our babies for experiments. And all that's facts. That is facts. Same thing with AIDS in the 80s, right? We had soul music. We know what people had soul because we are a soul people. Okay. We manifested from the sun. People don't get that. You have solar beings and you have lunar beings. Lunar beings is mankind. And I'm breaking all that down in my book, just so y'all know I'm working hard at that. All right. And I'll keep you guys posted. But you have solar beings and you have lunar beings. Man, original man is solar beings and lunar beings is mankind. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean we should be at war with each other. It's just like day and night. Okay. Day, the day need the night so that day could go to rest, and the night need the day so that night could wake up. You see what I'm saying? It's called balance. But they got us hating each other. You see, and people don't get the science, okay, or the esoteric meaning behind all these things. You see what I'm saying? And they got people worshiping false gods. Man, it's deep. It's deep. All right. But I'm about to conclude this video. I'm not going to be on here too long. All right. Like I said, this whole Roe versus Wade thing, it ain't got nothing to do with us, man. Okay. It ain't got nothing to do with us. If you know you cannot afford a baby, just be responsible. Wear protection. You see what I'm saying? Let me tell you something, man. I remember back in the days when they used to when they used to have videos, right? And our sisters used to have, they used to have clothes on their beautiful bodies, right? Our brothers in videos never used to be calling our sisters bitches and hoes, right? That was all good. Okay. We used to call each other brother. We used to call each other God. You know what I'm saying? Call our sisters queen. We used to call them empress. You know what I'm saying? When they realized that was raising our vibrations, they had to change, they had to make a paradigm shift and change all of that. And now every song you hear is about taking off your clothes. It's about giving head. It's about how I want to sex you. That's what they are pushing. You see what I'm saying? Now, I promise you, once it start affecting these pale people, they're going to start censoring those kind of music. Why? Because they don't realize that everything that affects us will affect them. Why? Because we are the original. You see what I'm saying? We are the original. You feel me? If y'all don't believe me, go look at the ghost plant. Okay. That's how I know there's duality in nature. Because I'm talking about 15 years ago, I told y'all about this. Okay. One time I was meditating and I'm like, nah, there got to be some type of way in nature to prove that, the opposite exists. So all of a sudden, a ghost came to mind and I did some research on the ghost plant. The ghost plant is basically a plant where it doesn't grow towards the sun, okay, because it cannot stand the sun, but it grows the petals or the flower, it grows towards the earth, meaning that away from the sun, okay, and it lacks chlorophyll. You feel me? It lacks chlorophyll, and it depends on plants with chlorophyll for its survival. So it have to live in close proximity with the plants with chlorophyll. Okay, so if it's in nature, it shows you it's the same thing with these pale people. Okay, all right, they are not solar beings, they are lunar beings. And don't matter how much a lot of them say they hate you, they can't stand you, they want to keep their feet on your neck. They cannot live without us because they have to be in close proximity with us so that our energy could keep them alive and not getting sick. I promise you, that's facts. And this has nothing to do with hate. I'm just giving you a scientific and biological fact. Okay? I know this lady that used to work for an elderly Caucasian lady, right? And that elderly Caucasian lady was always sick. And the moment she went to work for that lady, in about 40 days, I would say 30 to 40 days, that Caucasian lady was not getting sick anymore. That whole energy changed. Her skin started looking a little more nourishing. Why? Because she had a carbon-based woman in her place taking care of her. Family, you see, y'all got to get it, man. Y'all got to get it. If you don't know your power, you just don't know who you are. Because the sun is the central light of this solar system, of this planet. And if the sun is the central light of this planet and we are solar beings, that means that you are the central being of this planet. Everything else is sub races. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is dependent on your energy for survival. And that's facts over feelings. And the moment you know that to be a fact, then you have nothing to be afraid of. Now, you could make the demands because you know their survival depends on you. And that's fine. That's fine because that's the way it was supposed to be. The left pole, the right hand, the left hand, up, down, left, right. So as above, so is below. We are above, they are below. Again, not in a negative sense or a sense that we are better. No, that's not what it means. You see what I'm saying? That's all it means. We are their higher self and they are our lower selves. It's really that simple. So that's why they are pushing esoterically. That's why they are pushing interracial relationships, because now the lower and the higher got to come together to become one, that one body in so-called God or Christ under the sun, which is the central being. Every religion stems from the sun. No matter what you call your God, Buddha, Allah, Zeus, I don't care what you call it. It's all about the sun, the central sun. And then you have the gods which came from the moon that created mankind. But once again, like I said, that's a different video. And I'm going to break all that down in my book. Okay? So, in conclusion, this Roe versus Wade thing, let us mind our business. All I'm asking you is to be responsible. You know what I'm saying? If you know you cannot afford a child, then don't have a child. Have protected sex. You see what I'm saying? Teach your children, because everything nowadays is about sexual energy. You see what I'm saying? Sexual energy can be a gift and it could be a curse. You see what I'm saying? It could be a curse in the sense that, okay, if that's all I'm putting out there, right, is sexual energy, then that means that you are operating in your lower self, in your animalistic self, your lower self. If that's all you're pushing, every time you're on the internet, you want to show your titties, your ass. That's all you're giving somebody a message, but the camera on your breast, the camera on your ass, that you and your lower self. You see what I'm saying? That sexual energy is only to procreate. That's what it was for. And like I did a post on Facebook, the further back you go into antiquity, women used to have sex maybe once a year or once every 9 months or until they got pregnant. That's what sex was for. That's what it was for. It wasn't a thing, well, oh, I just want to get a nut. No, that's not what it was, man. You see what I'm saying? Because we had discipline. We had culture. We had culture. So now every video, every woman is butt naked. So that's what they're promoting. You see what I'm saying? It is time to raise your vibrations, and everything is manifested through vibrations. You see what I'm saying? Everything, even like a chair, right? You look at a chair or a table is vibrating, but because because in the third dimension, you know what I'm saying, everything is slowed down so much, it looks stable. You see what I'm saying? But I promise you, that chair or that table, it's alive. That rock you see out there, that rock is alive. You may not see it move, but trust me, it's alive. You feel me? So the point I'm making is everything is about vibration. Okay? It's about vibration. And if you're not vibrating on a high frequency, just like a rock, you will be dead. If you're not vibrating on a high frequency, just like that chair, you will be stagnant. You have to raise your frequency. You feel me? And it ain't got nothing to do with going on and praying on your knees. Nah, you got your higher self for that. You feel me? They ain't got nothing to do with that. All those people are lost. Like today's Sunday, they enclosed in a building, okay, praying to something that their prayers are falling on dead ears. Okay. And I just went outside a little while ago. I did some sun gazing for like about 5 minutes, and I promise you, I did more worshiping than these people that's going to be in a church for 3-4 hours worshiping to whoever. My 5 minutes of sun gazing. You see what I'm saying? So because of people have lost their culture, the system is taking advantage of that. And that's all they're doing is using our energy, using us for their own good. And of course, all that's going to come to an end. But The point is, a lot of us are going to suffer because of the lack of knowledge. We just don't know. And for those of us who know, we don't come together and step up and make things happen. We don't do it because, again, we are too selfish. You know, everybody in their feelings. We're not going to agree on everything. But what we could agree on, everybody who look like us that's actually from the Americas, for some reason, we just can't seem to find our way. But everybody else who come from across the seas, okay, from another continent, and they come here, it doesn't matter what they look like. You know what I'm saying? They, for some reason, could say, well, you know what, man, I'm thankful for the American dream. So if there's an American dream, why can't the American Aboriginal people, why can't we experience it? Why aren't we experiencing it? Because they know that we're different. You feel me? And that's just facts. Okay? So once again, we have to realize that this thing is falling apart. Why try to save it? Because we are the only ones that could save it. You see what I'm saying? And we are constantly saving it every 4 years. Okay? Every 4 years, you go to the polls and do what? You get charged. You charge the poll. That's what you do. Every 4 years, you charge the poll, and then you give them electricity, elections. All right. You give them electricity, okay, because you're charging the poll. So you vote. You see what I'm saying? So just like there's a sport called poll vote, right? So that's all you're doing. You go into the poll and you're voting, giving your energy through elections, electricity. You see what I'm saying? So you're keeping them alive, but you still don't see the word. You don't, in the beginning was the word, and the word became flesh, but you just don't know how to break down the word because it spells. They're casting to have you dumbed down, ignorant, stupid. You know what I'm saying? And when people talk and post things on Facebook, you get in your feelings. I don't give a damn about your feelings when I'm speaking facts. So get your emotions out of it. When there's truth, I don't care how you feel. Facts is facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts is facts. And that's just the bottom line. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this video. You know I kind of took it a little left field and right field and center field. You know, it was just about Roe versus Wade. But anyway, it all ties in together anyway. The bottom line is all this ain't got nothing to do with us. You feel me? And I'm not saying that we should hate other people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we should hate Caucasian people or I'm not saying that. All I'm just saying is we have to let these people know we know who we are. You see what I'm saying? We know who we are. It's really that simple. As long as we make the statement as we know who we are, we are going to get respected as who we are. You feel me? But when you have all this color of law, titles that you're dealing with, Black, African American, Negro, colored, all this, again, color of law, statuses, then you'll be dealt with the way that you're supposed to be treated, meaning that as property, okay, as subjects. You feel me? And there's no reason why we cannot stand once again as who we are. Today's Sunday. They got this Pride Day. How these people came and, okay, created a movement. They have a flag, and now they have all the rights. Why is that? Do you think I'm mad at them for that? No. I don't care who you sleep with. That's your business. I don't condone it, but that's you. Do what you want. That's your temple. You manifested here in that temple, in that body, okay? And like I told people before, there is no God, whether you believe it or not to be true, it doesn't matter to me because it's a fact. I'm giving you facts, okay? There's no God in heaven. There's no God under the earth. There's no God anywhere in the sky judging you. The only equalizer is karma. Karma is the only judge. You feel me? And you created that karma for yourself. Nobody gave it to you but you. You feel me? So you are judged by your actions. And people just don't seem to get it because they cannot think logically. How on the heaven's name is there a God sitting in the sky judging you? But yet still that God is a jealous God with feelings. Don't you think that that judgment will be a little bit biased? So that means you're worshiping a God that's biased. You're worshiping a God with feelings. You're worshiping a God that could get jealous. You see what I'm saying? So now you could see the indoctrination. So that God get to choose, okay, who I'm going to destroy. So let me ask you a question. The people that died in the church, what did they do? for that God to say, you know what, I couldn't prevent this. Okay? When a hurricane comes and then you have 1,000,000 babies or you have 10 babies or 20 or 30, how many babies that got killed, okay, in a volcano or a tornado, what did they do? What did they do? Nothing. You see what I'm saying? Let me give you another example. The Noah's Ark. That jealous God say, you know what? I created you and I regret I created you. I'm going to kill everybody except 8 people. That's the God that y'all serve. But yet still as a man, I will not condemn my son to eternal fire. But yet still you believe in a God that you say is all good all the time. Unconditional love, but he want to burn you in fire because you don't do something he said don't do. That's just to show you how crazy and ignorant people are. So with that being said, the only karma, the only judgment that exists is karma. And you shall know a tree by its fruits is based on your actions. You create your karma. Okay. You don't get to live a life of hurting people, killing people, deceiving people, and on your dying bed, you ask for forgiveness for Jesus to come into your life and you go to heaven. That's not how it works. That's an illusion that they gave you to promote a business called religion. You feel me? No, it's called karma. And you have to carry that karma until you get it right through all your reincarnations. You don't believe me? Go ask the allegorical Jesus in the Bible. Even he had his own karma. He had to come in the flesh and deal with the karma like a regular man and then die because of that karma and come back when he completed the wrongs and come back as the Christ. Okay? You think they don't know the truth? But they will not tell you the truth. And when people tell y'all the truth, y'all want to get upset and get in your feelings. You feel me? And that's why I tell people I don't deal with belief systems. I deal with truth. And the truth was put inside of me. You see, a lot of people don't know who I am. Okay, they just look at me as, oh, well, you know, Chief Kalanago, and no, man, let me tell you something, man. I came from a very, like, my soul, okay, came from a place that people will not even comprehend. But only me know them. And when the time is right, you know what I'm saying? When the time is right, you know, nature, okay, whether you call it the great spirit or the ancestors, will show you who I truly am. You see what I'm saying? Because the truth is here. The truth is inside of you. And there's nothing to be afraid of because there's no such thing as death. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't exist. It's an illusion. But yet still we are afraid. What are you afraid of? And I'm not saying to go out there and hurt people. I'm not saying to go out there and be violent. No, that's not what I'm saying. But don't be afraid to stand for what's right. Don't be afraid to stand for us. That's all I'm just saying. You know what I mean? That's all I'm just saying. And guess what? The truth is contagious, even more so than the lies. The lies are only contagious because that's all that's being taught. But when the truth is being taught, people will gravitate to the truth because why? It is a soul thing. It's a soulful thing. When the soul knows the truth, the soul smiles. And we are a soulful people. We could go anywhere in the world and see each other. And I promise you that vibe, that connection is there because we are a soul people. So let us get back our souls, man. A lot of people are like, they're walking around, they look like us, but they have no souls. They lost their souls. So let's get it back. How do you get it back? You get it by raising your vibrations, your frequencies, by your actions, your thoughts, the things you do, the things you say, the things you listen to, the people you hang around. That's why this path, a lot of times, it's one that you have to walk alone. Doesn't mean that you have to be lonely, because I walk alone, but I'm not lonely because I know the path that I got to walk, the one less traveled. So we got work to do. Know what I mean? All I'm just saying is leave these people alone. Let them do what they got to do and let their system fall. Let's not save it. We've been saving it for too long. Okay? It wasn't built on our backs. That's what, oh, well, oh, the United States was built on our backs. No, it wasn't built on our backs. It was built with our hands because we were not slaves. Our people were working. Okay, yeah, they got tricked, but we did not come here as slaves. We already had the systems. They just built on top what we already had. That's all they did. And that's what they continue to do. Build on what already existed. You feel me? So I'm wishing y'all a productive day. Like I said, I know I spoke about a lot of things. Some people might listen to this and say, well, Chief, man, you talk about Roe versus Wade, but you went all over the place. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm just letting my soul flow. You know what I mean? But you got the gist of what I was saying. Okay. The gist of what I was saying is this: with this Roe versus Wade thing, okay, it's all about discipline. That's all it is. And what is discipline? Discipline is being able to master your disciples. That's what discipline is. We all have 12 faculties that's within us. And those 12 faculties are actually in our mind. The only thing what religious people did was they gave those faculties a name, like John, Peter, all those different, what they call disciples. They're actually inside of you. So now Jesus, okay, the allegorical Jesus, again, it's allegory. The allegorical Jesus had to do what he had to master and teach his disciples so that they could follow him. You see what I'm saying? But before he became the Christ, he had to let his faculty, John the Baptist, baptize him. Baptism is not a physical thing, meaning that it's not something outward, meaning that you have to go jump in a river. No, it is all internal. So once he was able to do that, Jesus, the allegorical Jesus, didn't have 12 real disciples. No, that was his faculties. When he was on the mount and that so-called serpent or that came to tempt him, it was his mind. There was no real snake, but they got you thinking that snakes was talking. You see what I'm saying? No wonder people believe in the Easter bunny today. You see what I'm saying? No wonder they believe that there's a fat man that comes on your chimney and put gifts under your tree. You work so hard and give the credit to some fat Caucasian man. You see what I'm saying? So all Jesus was telling you is that you are what it is. Ye are the gods. You are the gods. And your 12 disciples are your 12 faculties, and they're already inside of you. What you have to do now is go within, learn to master them, let them follow you so that you could become fishers of men. You see what I'm saying? It's all allegory. You dig? So that is just the cycles of going through your reincarnation. You dig? Going through your reincarnation so that finally, when you get to the last round, okay, then you could give everything up and then become the Christ, the anointed one. Okay, why do you think when Jesus came back, right? When he came back after 3 days, he rose from the dead, that even his disciples couldn't recognize him. Mary Magdalene, none of them could recognize him. Why? Because he reincarnated into another host, into another avatar. It is right in your faces. And he had to show them the nail in his hand to say, nah, it's me. You see what I'm saying? So the Christ will come in many forms and y'all will not know. That's why Jesus said, listen, I will come and walk around you, amongst you, and you will not know that I'm the Christ. That's why I tell people, y'all don't know who I am. I'm not insinuating anything, but all I'm just saying is one of these days you will hear and you will know. Okay, because Christ will come in many forms, but you're looking for the perception of Christ in what they taught you, not realizing that you got the Christ among you. That's giving you the truth. That's giving you the facts. That's raising people from the dead. And when the allegorical Jesus raised people from the dead, it wasn't literally. No, it was raising the spiritual dead. That's all it meant. That's all it meant. Raising the dead. All right, the spiritually dead, giving them life. That's all. It's all allegory. Okay, it's all allegory. And that's why I tell people the Bible is the most beautiful book that has ever written. But yet still, it is the most messed up book that have ever been written, because if you don't know how to perceive what's in there, then you will get lost. You see what I'm saying? And the people who are teaching it, they're doing a disservice to the people because they're not teaching them the truth. They're not teaching them that it's allegory. That's why the allegorical Jesus spoke in parables. He's telling you, yo, this is not real. It's a parable. And a parable is an allegory. You dig? So just know that there is nothing else but you. You are it. Okay, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, yet still you have no end. They are only talking about the physical aspect, which is the beginning of the physical man to the end of the physical man. Okay, but spiritually, we have no beginning and no end. You did? We have no beginning and no end. That's why, once again, the allegorical Jesus said, my Father and I are one, but yet still my Father is greater than I am. What does that mean? It means that my Father and I are one in the spiritual realm. There's no difference. I am him and he is me, and he is me. But in the physical form, he is greater than I am because why? The physical body have limitations. That's all it is. But when Jesus said, ye are gods in John and in Psalms, he meant that in the absolute form, meaning that on that spiritual realm, we are one. So why are you down on your knees worshiping something that's equal to you? You see what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get it. You did. But like I said, that's a whole nother video. You know what I mean? I just haven't done anything in a while, so I'm here vibing with the peoples. You know what I mean? But I wish y'all a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Sunday. All right. Be good to each other and be polite, be kind. There's nothing wrong in being kind, man. Remember, whatever seeds you plant, that's what you're going to rip. I mean, you cannot hide. That's why they tell you cannot hide anything from so-called God, which is you. You see what I'm saying? Because the only person that knows everything you do is you. You see what I'm saying? So all that's tied up again in allegory. You see what I'm saying? You cannot hide anything. God is always watching, meaning that you are always watching. Your higher self is always watching. So you cannot do anything that your higher self don't know. You did. And remember that it's all about karma. And the more you live a life of being, like being fraudulent or evil, so to speak, the more karma you add to your repertoire. Okay. And then you have to do those reincarnations based on your karma. Okay. So every time you reincarnate and you become a better individual and you become a better individual, guess what? Some of the stripes are pulled off from the karma. Okay. And then you know in that life. So the more good you do, the more you'll be able to strip down that karma. Okay. Until you make the final reincarnation. Hold on for a second. That's my mom. Hold on. Hey, mom. Hey, mom. Okay, I'm on my way. Yeah. All right, all right. Y'all, I gotta go. I gotta go pick up my mom. But anyway, the point is, the more good you do, okay, the more you make your karma lighter. Okay, and that's hold on for a second, mom. I'm on my way. And that's what Mayat was all about. Mayat wasn't an African thing. Mayat was universal. And what Mayat really means is Mayat means universal intelligence. That's what Maya truly is. It's a feminine energy. It's a feminine deity, okay? It's a feminine divinity, and it means universal intelligence. That's what Maya truly is. You feel me? So it's about the balance. In other words, making sure that your good deeds outweigh the bad, so you're able to reincarnate to make progress. So in your final stage, when you become that Christ, you could let all that go and come back as a true ascended God. You see what I'm saying? All right. So once again, man, I love y'all, and you enjoy the rest of your day and stop living your life in fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. Everything in this realm, in this third dimensional realm, is an illusion. I am an illusion. You are an illusion. It doesn't matter what you call it. The government is an illusion. Your pastor is an illusion. Your dog is an illusion. Everything in this third dimensional realm is an illusion. It's not real in the fourth dimension. Okay. All right. The entities that's in the fourth dimension looking at us like, yo, these people really think this is real. You see what I'm saying? And then to us, they are an illusion, but to them, we are the biggest illusion. Because why? The third dimensional realm is the lowest of the low. It is called the low grade, the lowest grade that you could go to, okay, so that you could go back into ascension. Okay, so you start from the top, and you have to go all the way down to the bottom, and then it's like a bouncing ball, and then you go back up to the top. But on your way up to the top, you have to go through all these trials, these temptations. You see what I'm saying? The good, the bad, the indifferent, the left, the right, the realm of duality, to get back into a state of being where there is no polarity. There's no left, there's no right, there's no love, there's no hate. There is only a state of beingness, not being, because beings are manifested, but beingness is absolute. All right. So the goal is to get back to that state of what's called beingness, and that's the absolute darkness. All right. The absolute darkness, because light came from the dark. You see what I'm saying? But right now, we are actually living in darkness. Right now, even during the day, it's darkness. The only thing that's lighting up the darkness is the universal light, which is the sun. But we're in darkness all the time. But the light has to stay on, whether it be the moon or the sun. Okay? But darkness is key. Darkness is king. Darkness is queen. I said darkness, not black. Darkness, devoid of light. All right? Y'all have a good one. I love y'all.